So the first race of 7 here on finals day at Circuit du Val d'Argenton. Let's get things going with the senior Rotax second chance heat. And ladies and gentlemen, here is your starting grid. On pole position representing France will be Métis Carnijac. Alongside him will be the 382 from the United Kingdom, Alexander Savinkov. Zach Scowler and Lukas Schlegel representing the UAE and Austria will be on row number 2. Tom Lenoir and Gustav Zusakovs rounding out the top six positions. Head of Mitch Haynert, Titouan Lescali, Sverre Ubben and William Christensen from Denmark rounding out the top 10. Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort and Tom Voaul from the UK and France will be on row 6. Row 7, it's going to be Sam Bergstein and Marcel Lecruy. Nicky Gauchi and Scott Westhovens round out row 8. Kamal Murad and Shuma Tazaki on row 9. Jonathan Deville and Loris Goisman round out the top 20. Elia Papasena, unfortunately excluded yesterday after a technical non-compliance, will start from 21st, with Baptiste Schneider from France alongside the Italian on the back row. So the red lights are ignited on the starting gantry. 10 minutes plus an additional lap set on the timer. The top 6 from this race will be thereby moving forward to the pre-final for the senior Rotax class at 11:55 this morning. Looks to also be another scorching day in terms of the temperatures here at the circuit. Around 26 degrees Celsius. Wind is southwesterly, 9 miles per hour. Humidity 69%. So less than a third of this field will make it through to the top 36. It's Métis Carnijac on pole position. Alexander Savinkov alongside. Are we ready? Are we steady? Revs rise, lights are out first time. The second chance heat gets underway. Carnijac holds on to the pole position at the moment as they go through into clubhouse. And that is Kamal Murad exiting out of the pit lane. 2 by 2 at some point just outside of the top 5 going into turn 3. Move for 4th has just been executed, and that was Lukas Schlegel. He's just been passed by, looks to be Alexander Savinkov, who's dropped to 4th place. Will now make their way through into the left-hand hairpin at turn 7. At the moment, it is the 907 of Métis Carnijac leading the way. Second position, it is Zach Scowler from the Yaz Heat Racing Academy. The 316 representing the UAE. Field now comes across the line to complete lap number 1. Carnijac leads, Scowler, Usakov, Savinkov, Schlegel, Lescali, as there is dramas for one of the MKC Motorsport karts. That is Nicky Gauchi from Malta, who has got possibly I'm not too sure if he's got a noisy exhaust. There is one kart that is sounding louder than the others. Meanwhile, a little bit further up, Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort makes a move through into turn number 5 in the 393. And subsequently is trying to battle away. That is with the 925 of Titouan Lescali. That's for 6th position. That's the danger zone here in this second chance heat. Looks like Nicky Gauchi might be pulling into the pits very shortly. But 8 minutes and 13 still to go. Carnijac still leads. Usakov's up the inside of Scowler for P2. That's a nice move by the Latvian. So the top 4 have broken away. Alexander Savinkov from the United Kingdom rounds out the top 4 at the moment. With Scowler trying to put Usakovs under some significant pressure for that second position. Lukas Schlegel and William Christensen now exchange places, with the 378 from Denmark getting past the 362 from Austria, but they've got to keep their eyes on what's happening behind them. There is a loss of jockeying for position Loris Koisman battling away with the likes of Marcel Lecruy, Jonathan Devaux, amongst others. 3 laps completed, and again, Schlegel goes into battle with William Christensen. Heading into clubhouse, black and white warning flag being shown to Titouan Lescali in 7th place, who's now got Mitch Haynett right behind him. Sam Bergstein's dropped all the way down to 15th position, so that has promoted the likes of Sverre Ubben, Elia Papasena and Shuma Tazaki. Bergstein is swarming all over the back end of the Japanese driver. He manages to try and thread the eye of the needle through on the inside of turn number 8. And Tazaki was sideways going into Piff Paff and is losing a lot of momentum. And there were 2 carts closing right up on him. One of which would have been Tom Voaul, the other one of Marcel Lecruy, both from PKS Competition. Mechanical black flag has been now shown to Nicky Gauci from Malta. He'll be pulling that cart into the pits very shortly. Clerk of the course just indicates to the 310 from Malta. At the front end of the field, the top 4 are starting to close up a little bit. It was just over a second between the quartet, with Matis Kamnišák still leading. Second, Uzakovs from Latvia. Third, Skala from the UAE and Savinkov from the United Kingdom. William Christensen and Lukas Schlegel have got company. So it's going to be more than 2 carts battling over the last 2 positions as Titouan Lescali tries to go side by side, went towards the outside of Lukas Schlegel, got through. So Schlegel now drops out of, as there's now going to be a bit of a dogfight here. There's Mitch Haynett, 2 wheels on the grass. Longnois up the inside. Nagelvoort up the inside. Schlegel is dropping further back down the order. And with just about half of this race completed, it's going to be a tall order for the Austrian to muster up something to try and get through. He might lose another position now as they go through into turn number 7. And that was Mitch Haynett making a move on the 362 from Austria. They've got Elia Papasena right with them now. So further changes could be afoot. Papasena has been showing some flashes of pace this weekend, has been competitive. Now he's trying to close down in on the Austrian. Through into clubhouse once again. And the battle that is being led by Titouan Lescali has now got Tom Longnois, Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort, Sverre Ubben in that mix. Mitch Haynett's got to make up some ground here in order to catch them. He's currently running P10. Ahead of Lukas Schlegel and Elia Papasena. Papasena launches it up the inside of the Austrian through into turn number 7. Runs a little bit wide, can't get the crossover completed. And Schlegel is back through. Coming up to just under 4 minutes left to go. Uzakovs is closing in on Kamnišák for the race lead. Christensen has got some daylight at the end, at both ends of the tunnel, both fore and behind, in front and behind. And he's got a gap of about 9/10 of a second between himself and Titouan Lescali, but the gap between Christensen and Savinkov is about 3 seconds. So 21 out of the 22 starters are still running. Black and white warning flag this time going to Tom Longnois from France in the 927. Coming up to the last 3 minutes to go. And now Sverre Ubben makes another move up the inside. That was through onto Dunlop, and Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort says, no, you don't. Gets straight back past him. Now they're going to be side pod to side pod heading into clubhouse. And Sverre Ubben gets back through. It's the battle for 8th position on the road. 2 minutes and 40 seconds still to go. They need to try and get past the cars in front very, very quickly. It was Sverre Ubben actually pulling a gap on the 393 from the United Kingdom. That's easier said than done. Mitch Haynett sends it up the inside of Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort again and gets through. So a very, very quick shift in momentum. So 2 1/4 minutes still remain on the timer, plus an additional lap. Mathis Carnejak now extends his lead over Gustav Zusakov's to just over 8.5 tenths. Titouan Lescali is not out of danger quite yet because Tom Langlois is not that far behind. Neither is the likes of Sverre Ubben, so things are compacting between 6th to around about 10th position. So any one of 5 drivers could provisionally book their place into the top 36. And now there is a change a little bit further up as someone's just got off the circuit. That is Titouan Lescali, and has just lost out as Mitch Haynett's just gone around the outside. Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort to the inside, heading into turn number 8. This is going to be close, and they both make a little bit of a touch. And those behind manage to profit. Now, was one of them Elia Papasena is the big question here. Papasena was running in 11th position and now is in 9th. Sverre Ubben now is battling away with Tom Langlois for that 6th position. Titouan Lescali battling away with Sam Bergstein. That's for 12th place. But the lead that Mathis Carnejak over Gustav Zusakov's is now just over a second. The top 4 are away and clear, but the battle for 5th and 6th is still raging on. Tom Langlois has an opportunity to at least be 6th in this race, might even be as high as 5th position. As we're now heading on to the penultimate lap of this second chance heat for Senior Rotax. Sverre Ubben is about 3 tenths in front of Tom Langlois, but Sverre Ubben is not satisfied with settling for 6th place because there right in front is RS Competition's William Christensen. Could the 344 from Belgium get the slingshot down into the double left-hander at turns 5 and 6? Not quite. Timer has expired. And our leader is just about to head to Dunlop for the penultimate time. But 5th and 6th being contested by 3 respective drivers from France, Belgium, and from Denmark. The Dane is leading that in the form of William Christensen. Final lap underway. Mathis Carnejak's lead now extends to 1.5 seconds. Battle for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Getting a bit closer between those in 5th and 6th. So Christensen still holding Sverre Ubben at bay. But Langlois wants to get into that top 6. Because thereby the 927 will book his place into the top 36. Leader now coming through turn number 7 for the final time. As Langlois look for a tighter apex through into turn 7 to get the carry of momentum through into 8 and then into Piff Path. But out of the final corner, France's Mathis Carnejak takes the win in the Senior Rotax second chance heat by just over 1 3/4 seconds ahead of Gustav Usakovs from Latvia. Zach Skauler and Alexander Savinkov booked their place in the top 36, along with provisionally William Christensen and Belgium's Sverre Ubben in the 344. Tom Langlois rounded out the top 7 ahead of Elia Papasena, ahead of Mitch Haynett and Elia Papasena, with Brandon Klein-Nagelvoort rounding out the top 10 positions. They were covered by just under 10 seconds after 13 laps of racing. Titouan Lescali, Sam Bergstein, Lukas Schlegel, Marcel Lecrie and Tom Voaou round at the top 15 positions. Shuma Tazaki, Scott Westhovens, Baptiste Schneider, Jonathan Devaux and Loris Koisman round at the top 20. Kamal Monad finished in 21st, and unfortunately with a noisy exhaust, Nicky Gauci would retire on lap number 5.